Hello everyone. Today we're going to be talking about the breeding mechanics within CryptoDino game. Before we can get started, I do want to make a mention of the different collections we have within this project so that everybody knows what breeding is all about. So first of all, we have our CryptoDinos, we have our Dino Saviors, and we have the next gen dinos. The next gen dinos are the babies that are born from either breeding CryptoDinos or CryptoDinos with their Dino Saviors. Each of the different collections have their own breeding cost when it comes to breeding them together. All of this information can also be found in the roar paper for breeding on the website. Taking a look at the breeding costs, you can see that CryptoDinos and Dino Saviors have their own set prices when it comes to breeding. Starting at a base level, it's going to cost 500 Dino coins for each CryptoDino, as well as 500 coins for a Dino Savior. Now, these will also incrementally increase as you breed more and more things together. Keep in mind though, when it comes to breeding, we have breeding limits. For our CryptoDinos, we have a limit of 6 breeds. We can see that my Styra here has been bred 1 out of 6 times. If you breed it all the way up to 6 times, this dino can no longer breed. As the breed count increases, it also increases the dino coin cost for breeding it. The special thing when it comes to our Dino Saviors is they don't actually have a breeding limit. They can actually breed an infinite number of times, but the breeding cost will increase incrementally, and it'll keep getting more and more expensive. We also have a lot of other things that go into account when it comes to breeding as well. We also have these footprints you guys will notice in the top left of each of the different dinos. These footprints will play a role when it comes to breeding, and they will actually affect the outcome that it comes when it comes to breeding. Now, this just comes down to math, so I'll let you guys read up on this on your own. It basically gives a negative or positive roll to the different pairs based on what the footprint is. If it's a Diplodocus, it's going to lean towards the lower. If it is a caveman, it's going to lean towards the higher. So for example, if you bred a Diplo with a Styra and it had a Diplodocus footprint, even though it's already leaning heavily towards Diplo because we're breeding 2 off-matched pairs, it'll lean even further towards Diplo when the outcome comes because of the footprint. Alrighty, taking a look. When it comes to breeding, we also have cooldowns for our different collections. For our OG dinos, the cooldown is 2 weeks. So when you breed 2 dinos together, the dinos can no longer be bred for the next 2 weeks. It takes 7 days for an egg to hatch once you receive it from the breed. For our saviors, they have a breeding cooldown of 1 week, and our next gens have a breeding cooldown of 4 weeks. Alrighty, now we have to talk about breeding itself. We have a few different options when it comes to breeding, and those are breeding dinos together or breeding dinos with saviors. Now, it is important when it comes to breeding dinos together, dinos can only breed with the generation dino that they come from. So for example, OG dinos can only breed with other OG dinos. And generation 1, depicted with the 1 in the corner, can only breed with other generation 1 dinos. Same goes for 2 and 2 and 3 and 3, so forth and so on. The important role that saviors play in this is that saviors can breed with all generations. So if I was to take a breed, let's just say for example, my Styra here is an OG Styra. We can go ahead and click on breed. We'll choose our second one together, and we'll choose our other OG Styra. When you're breeding 2 of the same generation together and the same dinos together, you will get the same traits of these 2 parents. So for example, if these 2 Styras both had the same hand prop, for example, the thumbs up hand prop on this one, they would guarantee that the baby has the thumbs up hand prop. So you can use your breeding strategically to guarantee you get specific props when breeding dinos together, or specific traits. If you have two dinos and they have similar traits, you can only get the traits available from these two parents. But that is not the same when you're breeding with a dino savior. When breeding with a dino savior, the traits that the baby will have are completely random, except for the species itself. That's when the savior patron comes into play. So you guys will notice on our saviors, we have an emblem on their chest. These emblems have the different shapes of the species we have in the collection. So when it comes to breeding with saviors, it's really important to make sure you're matching the dino with the correct savior patron if you want to secure that species. So for example, in this example, I am breeding a styra dino with a styra patron. This will guarantee that every single time I breed these dinos and the savior together, it's always going to be a styra. Do a few simulations here. As you can see, the traits that I'm getting for these dinos are always random, but it's always going to be a styra. But let's say I took a styra and I actually bred it with an Anki patron. We breed these ones together. I have a chance to get both a styra or an Anki, but it'll always favor the lower of the rarity. But that's when the footprint can also come into play when trying to achieve the higher rarity. So let's take a look at this simulation. Running this simulation, we can see I've received an Anki. So it's random what you'll get. There is math behind it, so you can calculate in the back end what your best odds of breeding things together are. But it is important that if you want to secure a specific species, you should either breed with its exact dino patron or with one of similar rarity. We'll do a couple more simulations here. This time we got a styra, and this time again we got an Anki. So when it comes to breeding, we have a few different other things you may have noticed when it comes to the saviors, and that is that their patrons actually have different colors. So looking at these, we have the green patron, the red patron, and the purple patron. This can actually affect the special trait of their body type of the different dinos you can get. Now, the green one refers to a regular body. That's normal. It's the colored bodies that you're used to. That's what you're going to get when you're breeding with a green patron. Breeding with a red one will give you a chance to get an evil evil dino, and breeding with the purple one will give you a chance to get the X-ray dino. Of course, you can also secure getting the evil dinos or the X-ray dinos by making sure you are breeding X-ray dinos with the X-ray saviors. So for example, let's do a new breed here. Let's breed my X-ray Diplo with an X-ray savior. Now, because this isn't a Diplo savior, there's a chance that I'll get a Raptor or a Diplo, but it will always be X-ray. So if your strategy in the game is to collect X-rays, then you might want to get an X-ray dino so you can breed it with X-ray saviors. Of course, as you guys have noticed throughout this video, we've been using the simulate. The simulate costs nothing. You can do it completely for free. You can try different combinations on the website. You can even explore as well. Look at all the different dinos in the collection and then breed your own. And you can see what the odds are of getting different dinos from these breeds. One I do want to mention is if you're breeding a Rex, you can breed it with a Cardano patron for a chance at our brand new breed, which is the Gigasaurus. Let me go ahead and search for a Cardano patron. we have our T-Rex and our Cardano patron. Now, it isn't a very high chance that you'll get a Giga. I think it's about 30%. But if you're looking for our rare species, which is right here, this is the Giga. This is the only way you can get it. So that pretty much covers most of what it comes to when it comes to breeding. If you guys have any further questions, feel free to reach out to us on the CryptoDino Discord, as well as make sure you are sharing the different breeds that you can get and the different simulations you've tried. Have fun, guys, and I will see you guys later.